Hello everyone, and today I will be reading a Muichiro Listener by me. So let's get into it. You and Muichiro barely fought. That's because he hated arguments, and most importantly, he hated fighting with you specifically. He hates yelling, he hates arguing, and he hates seeing you upset and stressed. So arguments altogether were not a good thing for him. But most of the time, he knew how to control his own emotions, and he never got violent with you. It never ever happened, and never crossed his mind. So the reason as to why it would happen today of all days, and why it would happen at all, it wasn't something he had any clue on, and neither did you. It was something he was unable to control. The two of you were yelling at one another. Things got more heated as time went on, and he raised his voice and so did you. It only got worse from there, and you hurled insults at one another, talking about sensitive topics that you should never bring up in an argument. And that's when he had said something that, ultimately, was the thing that snapped it all out of him. And he had slapped you, cutting you off from whatever you're about to say next. You were stunned, and if you were to be honest, he was just as stunned as you are. His eyes were wide in pure shock, as if he were the one who had gotten slapped. But it was you. He had hurt you. He was staring at his hand for a moment, then you, as if confirming that all that happened had really occurred. He was not making it up. He'd hit you. And that was something that disgusted him, beyond belief. Wyan, don't talk to me, you said, angry and hurt, and he could see the tears welling up in your eyes. Tears that you were not going to let slip away, because you weren't weak. You were not going to be weak and cry in front of him after he hurt you. So, all you could do was storm to your room. Muichiro was panicking for lack of better words. He had no idea what to do. He had no idea if there was some sort of apology for this, if there was anything that he could do to make it up to you. If anything, he felt like he was stuck, and he deserved it. It hurt you. He never even thought about it. It was like his anger had just controlled him for a second, and then it had already happened. It was too late for him to go back, too late for him to do anything but feel guilty and feel regret. And then when you came out of your room with a huge bag, he panicked. You were leaving him. He knew he was wrong. He'd made a big mistake, perhaps an unforgivable one, but he couldn't handle you leaving him. Not to mention, it was freezing outside. And that's when an idea popped up into his head. You stay, Wyan. Please. I will leave, for as long as you want me. Maybe I'll never even come back, if that's what you want. But it's cold outside. For your sake, please stay home. And looking at the weather outside, the cold winter snow, you knew it was absolutely freezing out there, and yet you would not be able to handle it. That he was right about every single word he uttered. That didn't mean you have to admit it so easily, but after a little bit of fussing, you decided to just sigh. Fine, but you're not coming home until I tell you to. You say, crossing your arms. You were still hurt. That didn't mean you were going to show that to him. But Muichiro was more than relieved when he heard that you had agreed to his idea. He didn't even pack. He just left, bowing and apologizing. But he knew it was way less than he would actually need to do. After that, he ended up leaving for an entire week. And that's when the first letter had came to. A letter detailing all of his feelings and his regrets in that week. I'm sorry, Wyan. I'm sorry I hadn't treated you well. I hadn't appreciated you and cherished you like I should have. I I felt like I was blind. I was a fool. I should have never hurt you. I should have never raised my voice at you or raised my hand. But those things happened. They were my fault, and I don't blame you for it. I'm just hoping that maybe, if you're willing, we could meet again. I could come whenever you want. I only want one chance. If you won't let me talk with you or come back, then at least give me a chance at a decent apology. That's all I ask. That's what he had written, and you could tell that he was regretting things. That didn't mean you would so easily forgive him. You were mad and hurt, and you had betrayed your trust. It took 2 months for you to actually let him back into the house, and a lot of letters from him, and a lot of visits, and a huge apology. But eventually you decided that it was worth a shot. I'm just going to give you one chance, Muichiro. Just one. And he nods, grateful, as he softly wraps his arms around you, burying his face into your neck. I'll make it worth your while. I promise you that, he says, and you can feel how sorry he is, but most importantly, how much he had missed you, from the way he holds on to you so tightly. And you can't help it. Your body aches for his. You long for him too. You want him and you miss him. And you find yourself moving on your own, your arms wrapping around him and pulling him closer. All right, it better be, because otherwise, it will be, Wyan. Trust me. And though you had broken your trust once, you were bound to lend it to him again, just to give things a shot. You knew he would never hurt you. At least, not if he was so conscious of it. And it seemed like he never wanted to repeat that incident, and it was an accident. You tried to justify it, but he knew he was wrong. But right now, he knew there would be no justifying any of his mistakes. And he knew that was what he deserved. He never wanted a justification. And most importantly, he felt like he didn't deserve to be around you. But he was more than happy to be offered a chance, and he will make the best of it, for your sake and his.